focused attention, and I really enjoyed your survey and
Good.
the time.
Thank you very much.
To the CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of questions. From our initial interview we had over on the coast, one of the items you mentioned was our county museum, and you had given us some advice about calling it a county museum. Would you care to comment on that?
Maybe you should. No, museums are very important, but most counties have a museum, and there are more boring county museums than there are good, and you have one of the best we've seen, okay? And so there's a lot of county museums that are the town attic where Miss Mary Jane gives her collection of glass shoes, and it becomes where you collect stuff. You got the old barber chair, and they're full of stuff. And your museum is one of the best we've ever seen, and that's just where we think just calling it a county museum, everybody's going to say, oh, it's kind of like that boring one we have at home, and yours is not. It is absolutely, it captures the people of this county and the life of this county, and it is, you know, Mendocino, I actually use you a lot. The gateway going into Willits is one of the best we've ever seen nationwide. I mean, that is truly a gateway. It captures that you are entering the Redwoods, and there you've got the museum. So that's what I mean when I say there's something for everybody here. But in terms of your county museum, we're not saying change the name, but when you market it, you need to market the experience that is to be had there, that it really captures the people in this place and its history, and just the name county museum could turn some people off.
Good. That's very helpful. And then follow up for Scott. They made, I think, some excellent suggestions on a new theme to replace winds, wind, and waves. Could you comment on where we are with the recommendation? Are you going to continue with the same line of thought, or? And perhaps would we get that for free as part of the study, that we don't have to pay extra to use that moniker?
What's going to happen over the next few weeks and even month or two is we'll be working very closely with Berkeley and his team on specific recommendations on how to market, what our message is, what publications to advertise in, how to rebuild our staff, how the MCLA and MCPA can even merge more, what kinds of personnel we can hire so we can go after the meetings business, and specifically go after, you know, leisure sales in the Bay Area and Sacramento. The binder that we have is missing 2 sections because those are yet to be written and discussed. So yes, we will definitely, you know, nothing's going to go out saying wine, waves, and wilderness anymore. We'll use all of these suggestions, and like Berkeley said, the goal is to make sure both organizations adopt a policy that we are now research-based and not opinion-based.
Please, members of the public, comment on this.
Thank you. For the record, Hal Wagonette. In the discussion in the presentation that we heard yesterday from Randall Marketing, there was some discussion about our arts community. Of course, we have a high percentage of artists and musicians, but how do you turn that into an economic force? They were able to identify that it was not that the visitors were not as aware as they might be of that potential, and they had some very specific suggestions as to how to make the arts a real economic force. Would you mind kind of going over some of those suggestions? Thank you.
You do have a very vibrant and unique, your whole product's unique, but the arts, particularly as it relates to the way you live, where you are, who you are, how you look, everything else is very important here. So what we've said, we look at it as coming back more than just to identify the arts, but identifying the entire soul of what Mendocino is. And the arts are a critically involved part of that. And making sure you don't ever basically throw the baby out with the bathwater. That you realize that is who you are, and they love it, and they want more of it. So it's helping them come up here and find the fine art crafts, for instance, the things that they can have for their homes that are made here that are fabulous and are unique and are wonderful. We think you could have eventually have a Mendocino brand that covers basically the lifestyle of Mendocino. That furniture, home furnishings, think about it. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. You're already on to the wineries. You're on to the locally grown organic food. So it's really taking all of that and eventually long term, I'm not talking about next year because next year you're going to San Francisco, but over the long term, really developing that, and the arts are a critical part of that. And the art partners are a critical part of having people understand where they are, what's involved. We feel like one of the things we've talked with Scott the most about is coming back and doing workshops with these people to show them how to be better business people, how to be more tourist friendly, and help the tourists understand where they are and be able to access and buy them. You've got a brilliant future here, looking way into the future for you, and we're happy that means you're not going to be changing what you are, because this place really is pretty precious. So yes, the arts are a critical part of that, and we were thrilled to see the arts people getting acknowledged here and the support that the county has already given for the arts, because it is your soul. It is who you are.
Thank you, Jeannie.
I just want to point out one thing, and I had one of those aha moments.